Okay, hello, everyone. My name is Davon Reeves. I am the CEO and founder of Vestor, and welcome to another investor pitch. Okay, hopefully you all can see my screen, and I'm gonna turn this off. Okay, all right. So just an overview, as I mentioned before, I'm gonna talk about Vestor so you understand um, the platform, and then I'll let Adrian discuss her deal. So for those who don't know what crowdfunding is pretty much it's a small amount of capital or money coming together from a large amount of individuals. So number of individuals coming in to invest or to contribute. So why Vestor? We are a crowdfunding platform and we want to connect deal funders and investors. So you're like, oh, what's the deal funder? So Adrian today, but basically, and I'll go over that in a few. So what's a funder? A funder is a term that we coined at Investor for an issuer or a sponsor who was putting their deal on Vestor to raise capital. What's an investor? An investor is a person or someone who wants to invest in a deal on Vestor. So that's just our Vestor branded term. All right. So then what is Vesta for those who don't know what it is? We are crowdfunding CF, regulation CF. We are designed for commercial real estate projects, specifically hotels or including hotels. Think of us in an alternative way to invest in commercial real estate and to raise capital. So what sets us apart from other crowdfunding platforms is that we accept both accredited and non-accredited investors. And for those who don't know what an accredited investor is someone who has a net worth of $1 million or more, or an income of 200,000 or more. So a funder can raise up to $5 million per deal, and we are a member of FINRA, which is the Financial Industry Regulatory Authority. So we're not just like a website. So we had to go through compliance to become a platform, and we have to screen our funders as well. So how? So you can actually invest through the deals through the Vestor website. So ways that you can invest, you can actually use a self-directed IRA, savings, mutual funds, stocks, or cash. Our investing process is you can review the materials, including the webinar, conduct your own due diligence. I'm not a financial advisor, so you can work with the financial advisor or CPA to review the documents or your legal. It's free to create an account to invest. You will complete an investor. Oh, you're not seeing everything on the screen? Y'all can't see the screen? Oh, okay. All right. Okay. So I'm not sure. Okay. You may have to move your screen slide, but this folks can see it. Okay. So, and then you want to complete the investor questionnaire. So ways to invest, you do a wire transfer, or you can use your credit or debit card up to $5,000. So there is no fee to invest on Vestor. So it's free to create an account. You're just investing directly into the asset. We get paid as a platform by taking up to 5% of the total raise. Just a little bit about myself. I've been in the industry for over 15 years. I started off as a front desk agent. I co-owned 3 hotels across 2 different states, created this platform in 2022. Excuse me, we launched in 2022. And that's Anna Patel, who's over the technology. So feel free to contact us. We're on LinkedIn. Make sure you follow us. We're on Facebook. We can contact us directly via email and just go to vestor.com. So before I begin, or before I pass it over to Adrian, do we have any questions regarding the platform? Feel free to put the comments in the chat. Do we have any questions regarding Vestor or how to use Vestor? Okay. Well, if there are not any questions, I'll go ahead and pass it over to Adrian. Oh, there's a question. Okay, it says, 2,000, so for an accredited investor, it's $200,000 income, and then the net worth of $1 million. That's how you're classified. We didn't come up with that. The SEC came up with that. I have no idea why they came up with that number. Don't ask me, but they came up with that number. Okay, all right, so Adrian, feel free to show your face and you can share your screen. There we go. All right, hey, Adrian.
Hey, good morning, good morning. Let me share my screen with you.
All right. And
hello, and welcome to the We Stay Suites in Belle Chase. My name is Adrian Conish. Let me tell you a quick story about how I stumbled into real estate. Year 2008, I was the first Black female to hold a parish board position. I sat then on the Board of Variance and Adjustments. The meetings were televised. As we waited, the other board members, they enthusiastically spoke about an upcoming event that I was unfamiliar with. What is that event, you ask? Glad you asked. The annual tax sale. After the meeting, I retreated to the library. Picture this. The parish tax sale was held under a grand oak tree outside in rural Donaldsonville. I noticed a guy, he kept looking at me and smiling. I walked over, played the face card, and picked his brain. A month later, the city hosts its portion of the tax sale. I sat there alone in City Hall, waiting for the festivities to begin, and was slightly better acquainted with. The deputy walks in. She says to me, there was a misprint in the paper. Even though a correction was printed, apparently no one saw it. You're the only one here. She hands me the list. She says, circle what you want and come back and get me. That day, I spent the last of my $8,000, but walked away with over $1 million in property. Literally, all roads lead to here. Belle Chase, Louisiana. You're probably wondering, where is Belle Chase? So here's a map. It shows you Belle Chase is located within 30 minutes east of New Orleans. It is along the I-10 corridor as well as on the state highways. Let me tell you a little bit about myself. Because you're probably wondering, who's Adrian Conish? I am a real estate investor. I have been investing since 2008. I have acquired $12 million in privately held assets across 7 Louisiana parishes to include Plaquemines Parish, and we'll dig into that a little bit later. I am an approved hotelier with Choice Hotels, and for this particular deal, I am also having talks with Hilton for a Spark and IHG for a Garner. This deal will be competitively competed amongst lenders as well as brands. I am a Subway franchisee since 2020, right before the onset of the pandemic. This January, I am celebrating my 5-year subversary as an owner. I left the Pentagon at the pinnacle of my career, where I served as a Congressional Acquisition Program Manager at the Pentagon. I am also approved and in the process of building with Checkers and Rallies, as well as Wetzel's Pretzel co-branding with Planet Smoothie in the local Walmart. Funny fact about this Walmart, it is in the top 750 of all Walmarts. I'm an angel seed investor in many securities like robotics, engineering, energy, bionics, clean water, mocktail, global Wi-Fi. And here's a funny fact. Fun fact. I am a crypto and NFT portfolio, and I have land near Snoopverse in the metaverse. The gentleman you'll see pictured on the screen are Kishan Patel. He is my franchise attorney. He has over 15 years of experience, as well as Tommy Bayer, who is a proven hospitality consultant who has over 25 years of experience. And both of these gentlemen have transacted an estimated over $1 billion worth of transactions. Let's get into this deal. Here are the investment highlights about the We Stay Suites in Belle Chase. It has a strategic location. It has a sustained high occupancy. It is an extended stay hotel. It is located in the booming oil and gas industry. It has 30-minute proximity to New Orleans, and it is home of Sportsman's Paradise for wildlife and fishery enthusiasts in southern Louisiana. Let me tell you a little bit more about Belle Chase. Belle Chase has a growing demand. It is located 5 minutes one way to the Joint Naval Air Base. It is located 5 minutes another way to the natural gas export terminal, and it's also 5 minutes from the Port of Plaquemines. The Port of Plaquemines is a global and national top distribution hub for waterborne cargo. I know, exciting. Let me tell you a little bit more about Belle Chase because the goodness continues. Belle Chase is known for maritime commerce, which includes Gulf seafood and barges transporting everyday supplies that we use in and out of the area on a global level. It is a recreational hotspot for hunting and fishing and wildlife. Again, it borders New Orleans, and this is tremendously significant, and I'll touch more on this later on. New Orleans is the host to the 2025 NFL Super Bowl. Why do I mention that? New Orleans, being so close to Belle Chase will get a lot of overflow traffic for Super Bowl, Mardi Gras, Jazz Fest, and Essence Fest. These are leisure travelers who are looking for affordability within a 30-minute perimeter of New Orleans. That's Belle Chase. Why invest in the We Stay Suites? First and foremost, I want to emphasize there is a limited supply in Belle Chase. And when I say limited, I mean We Stay Suites is the only hotel in Belle Chase. It has a sustained 94% occupancy. As a matter of fact, the trailing 12 months for this year, it is at 95% occupancy. Literally, when they turn rooms over, they're only turning them over for new guests to come. It is a cash flowing asset. It is slated for brand conversion. And what brand conversion will do, it will allow us to grow the ADR. And there are tremendous demand generators for the We Stay Suites in Belle Chase. Let's talk about the hotel itself. It is a 57-room extended stay hotel. Again, I can't say it enough. It has a sustained high occupancy. It is cash flowing. It is the only hotel in the area. Therefore, it has a strong demand, and it's going to be converted to a brand. The nearest brand hotel is over 10 miles away. The nearest hotel in Belle Chase is 13 miles away, and it supports hunting and lodging. And the strong demand base that I keep talking about, it's the naval base, the marine terminal, and the Port of Plaquemines. This hotel has even more to offer. It has value adds. The current owners have spent over $267,000 in CapEx improvements. Let me touch on those a little bit. It has its own on-site water treatment facility. You heard me right. It has an underground drainage system. What that means, there's no standing water on this property. Belle Chase, being so near New Orleans and in the state of Louisiana, sits below sea level. This underground drainage system pulls the water from the property through the drainage system into the canal and the river. Therefore, this property can almost not flood. It has its on-site electrical gearbox. It is directly off of Highway 23, which is directly off of Highway 90. It has 4, and 2 of those 100-gallon water heaters are backup. It has a new HVAC system. It has all new PTACs. It has an updated surveillance system. It has new servers. It has a new PBX system, and it has a dedicated breakfast area. This hotel has everything. Let's talk about brand proposition. This property is going to be converted to a brand. As I mentioned, I am approved with Choice for a Quality Inn, and I'm having talks with Hilton for a Spark and IHG for a Garner. Here are the things, the benefits from bringing a brand to this independent property. Brands have trusted market share. They have millions of enrolled loyalty members. They have an extremely diverse portfolio. They have a strong industry presence and an expansive global presence. And they have a generous guest reward system. All of these are things that I myself, as a consumer, look for when I travel. In addition to that, brands bring about savings, cost savings. You have a system in place, you have technology support, you have field support, you have organizational support. Those savings allow you to have year over year sequential growth and revenue. Brands keep a robust pipeline into the property. There's room growth. And here's another fun fact. The industry-leading reservation systems, 7 out of every $10 remain with the franchisee. That's me. And in your case, that's you as well. Because that alludes to profits, and we like profits. Let's talk about these demand generators. This is where it gets exciting. There is, and yes, you are reading it correctly, a $21 billion marine terminal being built in Belle Chase. It is the largest privately funded project in the nation. It has begun in the fall of this year, and it will continue for the next 7 years. In addition to that, there is currently a $500 million Port of Plaquemines expansion, that begins January 2025. That's right around the corner. Again, it sits near the Naval Air Base, and Belle Chase is also home to Sportsman Paradise. Let's look at some numbers that these demand generators will bring to the property. These port expansion projects, the natural gas facility in itself has 1,500 construction workers and 300 permanent employees. The marine terminal that's being built will have 785 construction workers over a 7-year period. And the methanol plant has 900 construction workers and 325 permanent workers. What does this mean for the We Stay Suites in Belle Chase? These projects collectively contribute to a significant influx of construction workers in the region that impacts infrastructure and housing, and of course, lodging. There's a large number of construction and permanent employees that are in the area. The Conterno Terminal project itself has an 11-mile extension, and the Port of Plaquemines is a sought-after location for coal exports and is the operational core of offshore oil and gas industry in the state of Louisiana. And this project for the port is considered one of the largest, and it requires a massive workforce. Additionally, to meet accelerated timelines, the terminal construction has increased production and construction to 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, which raises the temporary workforce to thousands of workers. Let's look at the competition. There is none. The nearest hotel, as I mentioned earlier, is the Riverside Hotel. It serves as a hunting and lodging hotel. It's 13 miles away. To get to any other hotel, you have to go to a neighboring city, which is 16 to 19 miles away. Again, the We Stay Suites in Belle Chase literally has a monopoly on lodging in the city of Belle Chase, amongst all the projects that I just mentioned. What are we going to do when we buy this property? It's going to be converted to a brand. The brands have a PIP, Property Improvement Plan, my apologies. This planned brand conversion will come with a redesigned lobby and entranceway, an updated breakfast area, new linens, and a fitness center. And it is worked into our performance and which stands for mechanical engineering. I also have a roof guy coming next week. Also have a commercial talk for the roof. This property is immaculate. The current owners have put money and time and maintenance into plenty of extras. The MEP guy, he said to me, rarely does this property show this well. I'm impressed. Those are his words, not mine. Let's talk about the money. Thus far, for the past 3 years, this property has sustained a high occupancy, as you can see. The ADR has continued to grow year over year at a substantial rate. The RevPAR is extremely high because it is an extended stay property. And what you may know is that extended stay properties, typically their margins are 25 to 40% because there's a very low turnover cost because it's extended stay. Most of the guests are there for long term, 30 days or more. So the rooms aren't cleaned. The rooms are cleaned weekly, and there's a lot less turnover from a typical mid-scale leisure hotel. And so if you look at it in 2022, the revenue was 1.2 million, and 23, 1.3 million, and in thus far in 24, almost 5 million. And this for 2024, these are numbers through September. So once we close out the year, I am more than certain that this number is going to be even higher. It is based on the trailing 12 months. And what that means, that's from September of last year till September of this year. So you're probably looking at that word EBITDA. What is EBITDA? EBITDA stands for earnings before interest, taxes, depreciation, and amortization. Whew, that was a mouthful. What does that mean? It is how much that is left after regular business expenses, like salaries, supplies, and utilities. It highlights the operational profitability of a property before accounting for financing, taxes, and capital improvements. So what does this say? The We Stay Suites has historically had tremendously healthy margins to exceed 40%, and normal margins are between 25 and 40%. And this one has come in at an average of 44%. And again, it's going to be converted to an independent property. I mean, it will be converted to a brand, which will also increase the margins going forward. So you're probably wondering, how can I be a part of this great deal? Well, let me tell you. Oh, I think I skipped something. There, wait. There, oh. Sorry about that. My slides are a little out of order. Sorry about that. Here are the investment options. We have 2 tiers, Class A and Class B. It is a 5-year holding period, and the deadline to invest is February 4th of 2025. Class B, the minimum investment is $13,000, and it has a 6% return. Class A, the minimum investment is $39,000, and it has a preferred 8% return. This property in itself has a 30% realization discount to replacement costs. And what that means is if we were today to build this property from the ground up, it would cost market value, replacement cost, plus 30%. There's a financial leverage as me, the general partner, of 80% to projected cost. And there's a year-over-year growth. So let's talk about what do I get for my $13,000 and $39,000. This is simply for illustration purposes only. Say in year 1, over the 5 years, there's an average profit of $200,000. When you invest $13,000 at 6% interest over the 5-year period, you will be returned with a minimum of $78,200. If you invest $39,000 at 8% preferred return over 5 years, you will receive a minimum of $139,000. And that formula is based on your initial investment plus your annual return each year over 5 years, plus additional profits to achieve 2 times your investment and investor split. So when I say a minimum, that is based, the 6% and the 8% is the baseline. There is also a profit split, and you will see on the next slide, you are also going to receive 2 times your investment. Let's talk about those terms. And forgive me, I'm gonna have to maneuver a little bit to get to that slide. There we go. How much am I buying this hotel for? How much are we buying this hotel for? The purchase price is $4.7 million. This property is being sold at a discount to market value. The property improvements, $285,000. Closing costs, $176,404. Total project cost, all in, $1.161 million. As an investor, you will receive a 2 times equity multiple, simply meaning you will get your initial investment back twice. The internal rate of return is 17.6%. That's called an annual growth rate. Think of it as a savings account. How fast is my money growing over time? My apologies. How fast is my money growing over time? The annual cash yield of 12.9%, consider that a savings account. I misspoke. It is a percentage that your investment will give back cash each year based on the hotel's cash flow. So if you think about it, if you have a 6% return on 13,000 or an 8% return on 39,000, but the annual cash yield is averaging 12.9%, you, the investor, is actually earning more than the 6 or 8%, because that 12.9% actually represents your total cash distributions plus profit splits over the 5 years of your investment. And if you want to think about the IRR, it's like an annual growth rate. It's what you get paid during the project. Let's talk about investor incentives. We have some early investor incentives. These are only valid through the end of the year. First pick opportunity. If you invest, I take that back. When you invest by the end of the year, you will secure priority and preferential priority access to our next hotel project or expansion opportunity. You will receive exclusive recognition. Your name will go into a lottery for naming rights to the conference center. Oh, did I mention? There's a revenue generating conference room at the property. And we will place your picture and a plaque on the wall in your honor. For our investor appreciation event, you will receive VIP premier experience. That includes airport car service, premium experiences, personalized hospitality, and special recognition as we celebrate this exciting opportunity at the Investor Appreciation Event. You'll receive a one-time cash bonus in addition to your year 1 distributions. And of course, let's highlight the potential tax advantages and benefits that align with your year-end tax planning. As I conclude, I want to tell you part 2 of how I stumbled into real estate. 2.5 years ago, I purchased land in Plaquemine, the city, or so I thought. Clearly, I was meant to begin my hotelier journey in Belle Chase. The land that I purchased 2.5 years ago was actually in Plaquemines Parish. Guess where Belle Chase is? You guessed it, Plaquemines Parish. Again, literally, all roads lead to here. This additional land will be used for expansion. I thank you for your time, and I open up the chat for questions. Sorry, I'm having some technical difficulties here. I can't see the chat. Davon, I can't see the chat box. Can you hear me, Davon?
Hey, Adrian, we can hear you.
I can't see the chat box. Oh, wait, I found it. Sorry about that.
Adrian, yeah, can you hear?
Yep.
You're good? Okay.
Oh, I'm good for now, yeah.
Who else y'all know
I'm
looking
good
about?
for now.
Hey, Adrian, do you see the question?
Yeah, I'm scrolling through the questions now.
Okay, Tommy's been helping too with the questions.
Okay, thank you, Tommy. So, Marjorie, mocktails, you heard it. Mocktails is one of my seat securities. Thank you, Daisy. What is the age of the property? The property is in its infancy. It is 12 years old. It was built in 2012. Sometime 30 days. Wow, are these military related customers? Yes, so the average guest at the We Stay Suites is military and transient and construction workers and corporate travelers. Thank you, Tommy. The property has never flooded. One of the reasons the property has never flooded is because it has an underground drainage system that pulls any water. Even the gutter system surrounding the property, if you look at the picture, it drains into this underground drainage system. And it has, and forgive me, I don't know the terminology, but it pushes the water from the property through the canal into the river. Literally, this property could only flood if we had 7 feet of water. There has been numerous hurricanes that have passed through the area, and this property has sustained zero damage, hurricane and flood waters as well. When will the investors start receiving funds? So year one distributions will begin after the first full year of operation. Any idea why current owners are selling? So the current owners own 2 properties. They would like to take the equity from the property and put that into a larger deal. Oh, thank you, Tommy. How did the property fare in regards to occupancy rates and profits? So the property prior to the current owners was a Wyndham property. Unfortunately, the property, those current owners, when this property was purchased, it was at a 40% occupancy and 30 of the rooms were offline. So when I spoke about the CapEx improvements from the current owners, they came in, they renovated, they improved, and they increased the occupancy from 38 to 86% in year one. How much of the funds is raised through this platform? So this project is being dual track. However, on Investor, we are looking to raise $1.75 million. How many other hotel projects have you done? This is my first opportunity as a hotelier, but I am a successful entrepreneur in real estate and franchising. I am now a 4-time restaurateur franchisee. I think I answered all the questions. Any other questions? And I know I kind of went through it quickly, but I was trying to respect everyone's time. I know a lot of you are on your lunch break, and so I wanted to be respectful of your time. I will also have Dave will share a calendar invite. Well, you will have the opportunity to schedule 15 minutes to ask me any follow-on questions. Dave will also share the recording of this within 48 hours.
Adrian, look like there's some more questions. I don't know if you caught them about the, it just popped through. Please clarify when payouts begin.
Yes, so payouts will begin after the first year. So the property is slated to close March of 2025. So the first full year will be 2026 and payouts will begin thereafter. However, one of the things that I would like to stress, this property is already cash flowing and it's converted to a brand. So if we are able to do this expeditiously as I anticipate, then payouts will begin sooner. Thank you, Aisha. Okay, so I will repeat, the original owners are wanting to sell. They want to take the equity out of this property and put into a larger project. What is the forecasted increase in ADR after the conversion? So if I go back to the historical and the pro forma, the property has averaged a $10 a night ADR year-over-year growth as an independent property. We anticipate that will continue or possibly be higher. I will say in the pro forma, our projections are conservative. So we estimated a $10 increase on the ADR once the property is converted. Can you estimate a payout based on a 6% investors, and this will be an annual or quarterly or monthly distribution? Okay. So the 6%, I'll go back, let me go back to my slide. The 6%, just move this on. So if you invest 6%, if you invest $13,000 at 6% over the 5 years, at the end of it, you will receive $78,200. That is a baseline. And the reason why I say that, if you remember the annual cash on cash, let me see if you can see this. Let me go back. The annual cash on cash, go back, here we go. The annual cash on cash yield is 12.9%. So what that means, if your return is the 6% or the 8%, the cash yield is 12.9%, which means you will actually earn more because the total distributions will be your return plus profit splits over the course of the 5 years. So that $78,200 off of $13,000 is the baseline. And the distributions will be quarterly. How much money will the flood insurance cover there's a flood over 7 feet? So this property sits in an X zone, which means this property is not in a flood zone. However, the cost to insure the property under flood is calculated into the pro forma, which was an increase over what the current owners were paying for insurance as a safety measure. So the flood insurance will cover the damages to the property if it experiences over 7 feet of water. We're not going to speak that. It's never flooded, and it's 7 feet is not likely, but possible. I don't have a good opinion of the Hilton. The pros and cons help you determine to add the brand. So Hilton is in the top 3. And the Hilton Spark is the Hilton Spark conversion. Hilton brings brand name, it brings accessibility, and millions of loyalty members to the project. So I'm not sure what the experience was, but Hilton or Choice or IHG are all top brands that will help determine. Now, the ultimate decision will be made based on who is most competitive. What is the GP LP split? So the general partner LP split depends upon your investment rate, your investment tier. So it is for the 13,000, the GP LP split is 70-30. No, I apologize. The GP split for the 13,000 is 60-40 and 50-50 for the 39,000. What happens after 5 years? After 5 years, investors will be paid out either through selling the property or the property will be refinanced. It has not been determined if the property will be held, but either way, the investors will receive their returns, their profit distributions after 5 years. I don't think I missed any questions. And Rita, if this property happens to be converted to a Hilton, let us win you back over. What's the value after 5 years? So this property, the property value after 5 years is, I don't have my pro forma in front of me, so again, I'm going off of memory. It is estimated to be over $9 million. So from 2022 to from 2023 to 2024, the property appreciated $1 million. Oh, I'm so sorry. I forgot to tell you something. This deal also comes with over 8 acres of land. There's room for expansion going forward. So one of the reasons why this deal is really near and dear to my heart, I was able to negotiate all the land. So someone else can't come and set up in front of us. It's always visible and accessible from the state highway. Thank you, Shelley. Yes, Tommy, exciting. I'm so excited. Thank you, thank you. Am I able to share the address? Yes. So the property is the We Stay Suites in Belle Chase. It's, let me give you the exact address. It's 14740 Louisiana Highway 23. Oh, thank you, Tommy. As you can see, one of the reasons why I love Tommy, he's on it. He's been a tremendous advisor on this deal, as well as Kashane Patel, my attorney, who is second generation hotelier. Let me type in here. Here's my calendar. I think that's a year. Sorry. Oh. Yes, you'll see Tommy posted a picture of the property, and the property sits off the highway, and you can see, you drive down the driveway and you can see the additional land. There's a massive signage directly on the highway pointing to the We Stay Suites. Yes, I am originally from Louisiana. I am born and raised Southern girl. I have lived all over the world and I travel extensively. And I actually live an hour and a half from the property. I think I missed the slide, but I'll just touch on it. In the underwriting assumptions, I apologize for that. There is current staffing levels will be maintained, but we will add a GM at market wages. There will also be the introduction of additional food and beverage services. We will have achieve payroll service savings through centralized accounting. We will continue our concerted sales and marketing. And then the property will continue to be modernized to enhance the property value. And then also we have added in franchise fees into the equation. as well as the increased insurance for the flood insurance that is not required. Are there any other questions? Well, I'll turn it back over to Bree. Thank you, everyone, for your time, and I look forward to working with each and every one of you. Thank you, Mr. Dunbar, Pamela, Aisha, everyone, thank you. Hi, Deborah.